So today's project, we are going to be repairing the arc reactor in Tony Stark's armor. So what we have here is an officially licensed Marvel t-shirt, and it's an Iron Man t-shirt, and this little guy has a built-in arc reactor in the chest here that you can see. It'll glow up with LED lights, and the battery pack plugs in down here. I think there's a little pouch somewhere that you can stick the battery pack in, or there's a belt clip on it. And like most devices, what has happened with it is the batteries were left in it, and unfortunately those cheap alkaline batteries, when you leave them in there, they'll corrode, and in this case it corroded pretty bad. So we've got rusty terminals to the point where they were actually falling apart and breaking. I tried cleaning them up. Baking soda and some water and a paste will usually let you clean most of the acid off, but these are not only acid colored but rusted, and this particular one had completely lost it. I tried soldering it back on, but we've got no power whatsoever getting through those terminals. So what we need to do is pop this apart, and once we get it apart, we can further assess the situation. So with it apart here, we can see that it is extremely simple circuitry, which is really awesome. We've got our positive and negative lines from our battery, which is going to be three 1.5 volts, so a total of 4.5 volts. And they are going into this simple circuit, which is really a ground plane and a positive plane. And the positive is just broken by that switch being off or on. So it's really simple. And then these are tying these three wires here to positive for the LEDs and these three for the negative. So all we need to do is unsolder these two terminals and then put something else in its place. Fortunately on Amazon you can pick up something like this for really cheap, and you can use this fix for pretty much any electronics like this. Unsolder the terminals, solder this new one in its place, stick your batteries in, and then the only thing we need to worry about is coming up with a way to mount this again, because this won't fit inside of what we had there. So we'll either need to tape it all together, or maybe build a 3D printed box or something for it to fit into. So let's see what we can come up with. Alright, we can strike while the iron is hot. Literally. We've got it up to temperature, and now we can unsolder the battery pack that's part of the thing here. If I can manage to hold it. Ground is to the right, and the positive is on the switch. So we'll put this back with a new line here. New battery pack, positive to the switch. Squirrely little thing. Hold still. There we go. Now the ground. It is just that simple. So theoretically, we could power this back up just like it is. Now it's got power. But we need to do something to hold this. So right now, we've got it in this little container here. That pops out of there, I believe. Yes, it does. It's just stuck in there with a little sticky pad. There we go. So we need something else to mount this. So let's try and 3D print something that will fit into. It became very apparent quickly that I needed to make a box and 3D print it for this project. So what we're going to do, we're going to use this product called Tinkercad. It's free on the web for you to use, and we're going to start by dropping in a box, and I need this box to be 94 millimeters. It's going to be a long one. By, this is going to be 56. I've already measured this out here. And then for the height, I want it to be at 26. And that's going to give me my size big enough for the batteries and for the switch plate. Now, to use Tinkercad here to be able to put something inside of it, I'm going to take a negative space box. And let's move this one out of the way here. And in this case, we're going to make it, I want to have like, say 3 millimeters on each side of it. So 94 minus 6 is going to be 88. So this is going to be our inside space. And then we're going to have 50. And I want to move this up, say 2 or 3 millimeters high. All right? So that's my negative space inside the box. And I'm going to combine these two together. And I think I can undo that because I didn't make this high enough. It's still 20, so it doesn't matter how high you make it. We're going to move this over together. We're going to select them both. We're going to use the Align tool. And we are going to align it space to space. And then we are going to select them both. And we're going to merge them together. And I think I just accidentally raised, yeah, I did. I raised this box. So let's use the Align tool again. This time, get it where I can see it better. There we go. It's centered that way. And it's centered this way already. By the looks of it, yes it is. Tell because it's grayed out. Let's group it now. There we go. And now we have our bottom and we have our sides all ready for our box. And then we need to add a place for the switch. So we're going to drop this guy in here and we're just going to guess the size. I've actually already done this, and I'm just showing you how I did it. And it did a little trial and error to make it work just right. I had to print it out a couple of times to get it to fit. So let's lower this down a little bit, and then we're going to stick it right in the side here, just like so. We'll bring it in, whoops, bring it in here, and then we'll merge that in, and that creates the hole for our switch. And then we're going to do the same thing for this guy, for the plug. And just with some measurements and careful planning, you can make it look like this. So that is my hole that I made for the plug. Just used a couple of boxes, box for the switch. And then one other thing I did here that I thought was pretty neat is I made a sliding lid. So on this side of it here, there's a place for the lid to slide through. And I printed out a lid. The lid just slides in the end. And that's real easy to do. Again, it's the same basic concept. We're just going to take a negative space box. We're going to make it, say, 2 millimeters high. And if you remember our previous measurements, it was 96 long. We can make it a little bit longer. Bring this in. And it was 56 wide. But we need to be, say, 4 millimeters in from that. So let's make it 52. And then we're going to bring it up height-wise. And we are going to put it right inside there, like so. And I want to align it this way. So then that's going to make a slice right through the center of it. The one thing I need to do, however, is raise it up a little bit. That's the wrong one. Undo that. Let's turn so I can select just that piece. Raise it up and then merge that together. And that's how I created my little slot there for the lid to sit in that we see on that. So real quick, got it all done. And then it's just a matter of printing it out and then modifying it if we need to make it fit just right. And here's the completed box. We've got a slide out lid, place for batteries, place for our switch, controller board. The switch is set up so we can switch it on and off. A little close, and then our plug can plug right in the end there. And I've got it polarized so I know which way the plug goes. The little tab there really didn't do anything other than tell you which way the plug went. And then the switch will turn on and off. So we've got it all set, all ready to go. The original device had AAA batteries. This has got AA, so it should last a little longer. Voltage is the same. Let's give it a test. And that is how you fix Iron Man's arc reactor. So, I must be worthy.